The Panthers continue to stack up pre-draft 30 visits that may point to a certain direction where they could be going with their first pick. We've received some news and nuggets about Panthers training camp, particularly who they may be having joint practice with. We just got an update on an old friend from Carolina Panthers past that has moved on in a different direction. And last but not least, draft hats are available, so we're going to review and talk about that. We got plenty more to go in this edition of Panthers News Today. We're starting right now. What up, though? Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. If you're new to the channel, make sure you are subscribed because we're up to date on all this Panthers news, and we have a lot of things to talk about. The owners meeting is this week, so there's going to be a little bit of availability. It's a nice little break in between free agency and the draft process as the pro day circuit continues to go on, but the Panthers have been booking their 30 visits. Now, 30 visits are just pre-draft, either private visits that prospects come in and interview with the team at the facility, come through, walk through, try to get a feel for them. You also have local visits for guys who are born or went to high school in the North Carolina area, and there's certain schools and colleges in the area that are stationed for the Carolina Panthers. So you get 30 of those visits for private visits, but local visits don't count towards that. We recently got reports that the Carolina Panthers are doing a local visit with none other than Jalen Walker, edge rusher / linebacker from the University of Georgia. Now, we know the buzz has been buzzing since the NFL Combine about potentially Jalen Walker coming there. He's from the Salisbury area. His dad was a coach at Coastal Carolina. This was a Carolina boy, more than we know. Obviously played at the University of Georgia. Dan Morgan said he's looking for dogs when he had his intro press conference. Jalen Walker literally is a dog. So he visited, so the interest is there. Now, of course, the history with the Panthers, they typically don't draft guys that they don't meet with. And Dave Canales has emphasized how much he loves hearing about these guys' story and wants to hear a complete football story from these guys or what really means to them, the game does to them. So with Jalen Walker having the type of background that he has, I'm sure he's able to sell this front office and coaching staff on why he should be selected at number 8 pick for the Carolina Panthers. But also, we've got word that none other than wide receiver 1, Tetairoa McMillan from the University of Arizona is taking a 30 visit. Now, most people think that the Panthers are going to go defense because they had the worst defense in NFL history last year, and that would make sense because they spent a boatload of money already in free agency, but it can't be denied that the Panthers need help on offense, and you have to get some more weapons that are a little bit more explosive that defenses have to respect. And Ted McMillan would be a good way to go. He's a guy that's a big body out there that can overpower smaller corners on the outside, winning at the catch point. He can play inside. He can play outside. He's smart in the zone. He's great in the scramble drill. Just gives a big catch radius. With a team that struggled in the red zone last year, Ted McMillan will be a welcome sight. But we did not know if Ted will actually be on their list. This is the first time we've heard that Ted McMillan has been connected to the Panthers. We've heard that some people in the front office were intrigued by him, but getting the confirmation with the Thursday visit, it's a good sign if you're hoping for offense at number 8. Of course, it's not a sure thing that they're going to pick him. But again, like I said, they have a history of guys that they meet with that they will draft. They don't, unless it just rarely happens over this regime that they draft guys that they haven't met with at some form of capacity. So if you're in the Ted McMillan hive, this is a check box for you. You should get excited. But you guys let me know down below in the comments, what do you think about them meeting up with Ted? Do you think it's just a smoke screen? Do you think they're just doing due diligence? Or are you on the Ted train instead of just defense at number 8? Let me know how you feel down below in the comments. But before we move on to the next topic, let me go ahead and pay some bills right here. All right, y'all, it's that time of year. We're finally shaking off the winter and stepping into spring. But if you're like me, that also means you realize your closet is still stuck in cold weather mode. I know this weather is bipolar, but it may just be time to ditch the heavy layers and upgrade to something fresher. And that's where Chubbies comes in. Their everywhere shorts have been a lifesaver for me. I'm talking lightweight, stretchy, and versatile, and perfect for those days when it's cool in the morning, a little bit warmer at noon. You pair those everywhere shorts with Chubby's lineup of performance polos, and now you're cooking with gas because it's a soft and breathable fabric. Those polos are good for kicking back, chilling out, or turning up outside of the festival or something. So if your spring wardrobe needs to upgrade, whether you're getting dressed for your workday, a workout, or a weekend getaway, Chubby's has you covered. For a limited time, Chubby's is giving away my viewers 20% off your order with UBSports20 at chubbyshorts.com. This code UBSports20 at chubbyshorts.com. So support the show. Tell them that we sent you, and don't blend in with the crowd. Stand out with Chubby. So the owners meeting are in Palm Beach, Florida. Coaches and front office and owners, of course, are down this way to discuss the rules and stuff like that. And there's a lot of media availability. Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, had his availability, and he disclosed that the Panthers will be having a joint practice this year in training camp with the Cleveland Browns down in Charlotte. Yes, we got clarification after multiple years with the Jets in a row. We've switched it up, and we're going with another AFC team, the Cleveland Browns. That means that the Browns, of course, will be a preseason home game for the Panthers as well. So they will be coming down to the new facility and practicing against that. This is going to be exciting for a number of reasons. One, because you get the rematch of Myles Garrett versus Ike Ekwonu. Remember, Ike's first NFL start was against Miles Sanders. We gave him a lot of help. He gave up 2 sacks. But Ike, having an up and down career thus far, has come a long way. We really can't deny. Had a solid year as a rookie, down year as a sophomore, and a bounce back year last year was pretty great, and a better system with more hands-on coaching. He seems to be trending in the right direction. And from what I'm understanding, they could be working on an extension sooner rather than later for Ike in attempts to maybe buy low. But regardless, we get to see how much Ike measures up to the best defensive player in the NFL, and Myles Garrett. Trust me, Myles Garrett just got that bag. He's going to be feeling good, feeling great. We'll see what he's able to do and how this matchup goes. But I think that's something that we have to monitor, and it's going to be a good test for us up front in that space. On the other side of the ball, Jerry Jeudy returns to Carolina, but will Steve Smith be at joint practice? Because we know the spat that Jerry Jeudy and Steve Smith had, where Jerry Jeudy was called a jag by Steve Smith, but all Jerry Jeudy proceeded to do is accumulate 1,000 yards for the Browns the following year and make a Pro Bowl. This guy had a career year, and when he wasn't playing with quarterbacks like Dorian Thompson-Robinson or Deshaun Watson, who is a shell of himself, he actually produced, especially with Jameis Winston. So we'll see what happens this year with Jerry Jeudy in terms of what goes on there. But the other thing that we get to see is their draft pick. They have the number 2 overall draft pick. Will they be taking Travis Hunter? Will they be taking Abdul Carter? Or will they be taking another quarterback, potentially Shedeur Sanders? We know and pretty much understand that Cam Ward will be going number 1 overall to the Titans. And so the Browns, they're going to need a quarterback with Deshaun Watson being out a year and Kenny Pickett being the only guy. I'm hearing that they want to go after Kirk Cousins, so that could be a thing the Panthers have to face again, seeing Kirk Cousins again, division familiar face per se from last year, but it could easily be Shedeur Sanders. That's going to be all eyes on him box office. We'll get a chance to see him in training camp, and of course with the Sanders family and all that goes with it, there's going to be a lot of eyes there. So I'm curious to see. I will definitely be there in person. You guys know me. I'm going to be there front and center, giving you guys a skinny on training camp. It is my favorite time of the year as a content creator. It feels like the Super Bowl for me. So I'm excited to see the Browns come to town and see what's going to happen there. But you guys let me know, what would you be looking forward to? What do you think about the Browns being that joint practice opponent? Because it'll be a pretty good test for our offensive line up front. But I want to get you guys' thoughts about what are you looking forward to? You know what I'm saying, in terms of what we can get out of that matchup, just thinking about the potential Browns players or even their rookies. The news also dropped of Panthers' former head coach returning to the college ranks. And no, this is not Matt Rule. This is Frank Reich. Frank Reich, remember, one and done 2023 coach, the head maestro of the all-star coaching staff that we put together last year for Bryce Young's rookie year. He was promptly fired 10 games into the season because we were god awful. But when he left, he said that he thought his time in the NFL was done. Most people thought that he would ride off in the sunset with his war chest of riches, being that he has a lot of family and friends and homes in the North Carolina area because his brother is the head coach at Wingate. When he was in Carolina playing, he ended up buying a home there and they raised their kids and stuff there as well. So he always kept roots there. It seemed like a great retirement plan, which it seemed like a lot of coaches have done over the past few years in terms of Ron Rivera, Matt Rule, and Frank Wright. They get paid and then they don't see the end of their contract per se, which seems to be a pattern for coaches like Frank Wright and Matt Rule, who don't see the end of their contract but are still getting paid to pretty much just go away. It seems like a sweet deal, but Frank Wright has decided to return to the college ranks and become the interim head coach for the Stanford Cardinal. Now, it's been made loud and clear on multiple occasions that Frank Wright will not be the permanent coach for the Stanford Cardinal. Remember, Andrew Luck is the new general manager with the new NIL deals and the way the structure is of college football now. Teams have general managers, and Andrew Luck is a general manager. And Andrew Luck was coached by Frank Wright in 2018, so the connection is there. And so Frank Wright will be trying his hand at the college level. We'll see what he can do. Will he be just another bridge guy, but this time with the full understanding that he's a bridge guy? He might have been coaching like he was a bridge guy in Carolina, but he ended up getting us to Dave Canales, but we threw away a year and almost stunted the development of Bryce Young in the process. Regardless, Frank Wright is super, super experienced. I'm curious to see how this ends up working out for him because, like I said, it's just a one and done. I'm also curious about the legality of this because, they have buyouts and stuff like that. And I think Frank Wright, if I'm not mistaken, signed a 4-year deal with the Carolina Panthers when he came aboard, and he only did 1 year. So he's going to be getting paid for the remainder of that contract. But typically, when you have teams that want to take you on, they have to pay the team that has the rights to Frank Wright, which is the Panthers, to be able to take him away. Now, for him only being a 1-year interim coach, how does that work? I don't know. I'm sure David Tepper could potentially be off the hook again, thanks to another college program. We saw Nebraska do him a solid with Matt Rule. We know Matt Rule signed that 7-year, $63 million contract, the 360 deal that he put David Tepper in to be able to do that, and only saw 2 and some change of that contract. Nebraska ended up having to pay a chunk of that back in order to acquire Matt Rule's services. And then some legal battle spat it off, and apparently Matt Rule wanted $5 million more from David Tepper that he felt that he was owed. We never saw the end of that, but things have been quiet. I'm sure Matt Rule got his money. He doesn't seem like a guy that's going to miss out on the opportunity to get paid. So I'm pretty sure that Matt Rule got his coins, but I'm curious about what happened with Frank Wright in this scenario. Will it be another messy spat like that? Who knows? And last but not least, the Carolina Panthers and the NFL, I guess, ahead of the draft, have officially released their draft caps. Now, of course, y'all know me. I have a special place in my heart. I got one of the most diverse cap selections that you guys will find. I typically pass on the draft caps. Last year, I thought they were going to be pretty decent. You know what I'm talking about? But the gray and the black just looked a lot different in person than it did online. It looked dope online. I like the effects that they did with the two-tone black and the accents with the gray with the state outline too. But it just didn't look as good in person. Not to mention it hurt my forehead. The way that the snapback was lined up, it really, really hurt. It wasn't a comfortable hat. I don't wear it as much as I thought I would. But other than that, it was a step forward. Wasn't the greatest, but it was a step forward for some of the poo-poo that we faced before in the past. But I want to look at this year. So look at this year. You have the two-tone caps with now has a little emblem or a pin on the hat as well. And then you got the little ivy, or I don't know what those are, olive branches on the bill. This one had potential, but it feels like they left a little bit to be desired. If I had to pick a favorite one, it would have to be the blue with the black bill. I thought that maybe the black with the blue bill, if they made it black, the olive branch black on there, it'd be decent. I also thought that the pin is a little weak to me. They could have just used the Panthers team logo pin, but I'm going to go on eBay. They sell these pins. You can get anniversary pins for the team. You can get old classic pins on eBay with the team logo, and I'm going to replace it myself personally when I get these hats, because I will be purchasing this hat. I'm getting the blue with the black, and I'll probably get another one. I may give it away on draft night, but we'll see. This one actually in the far corner is cream. It's not gray, which it looks like it's cream. So I don't know. What do you guys give this rating for the new hat out of 10? If it had to be me, I'm going to give it a 7.5. I will be getting a fitted cap this year. Unfortunately, I don't like fitteds, but them snapbacks hurt my forehead way too much for me to ever go down that road again to make it worth it. Maybe if they put gold on the bill of these, it will be a little bit better. So a gold leaves on the bill. I don't know, but it seems like they're getting better. We've seen worse for sure. So the bar is low, but it feels like they could have done a little bit more for us in general with that pin overall, because I see the Panther, I see the stance. It looks a little, the detail isn't really there. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about the detail. The detail ain't really there on this one. So I'll be getting my own pin. But I want to get you guys' thoughts about it because we've had some bad ones in our heyday. And last little nugget before we go, the NFL has announced that they're going to be amending their uniform rules. So now teams can wear their throwbacks or alternate uniforms up to 4 times per year. That means there's 4 opportunities for black helmets for the Panthers. We know that we don't have throwbacks. Our jersey is pretty timeless. It's actually a great design. I think it's one of the best team colors in the league per se, and there's not much that has changed over time except for the whiskers and the accent on the Panther turning to blue from white. But with the opportunity potentially to wear black helmets 4 times per year, seems pretty attractive. We wore it a lot more last year than I thought we would, and so being able to wear it again this year for 4 times is something that's kind of fun. Just hopefully we don't wear white as much, or if we do wear white, maybe with the white with the black helmets, just to see how it looks. Some black helmets, white jerseys, black pants. Now we cooking with gas. I want to start seeing them experiment like they did last year, because the way they ended the season with the white on silver pants was just chef's kiss to me. I know a lot of people didn't like it initially, but I thought it was cold from the jump. And as we ended up putting 44 points, it always looks good no matter what you're wearing when you're putting up that many points. So look good, feel good, play good. I'm all about the jerseys and the aesthetics. I know some of y'all say, I don't care what they wear, as long as they win games, I get it. But some of us like to have fun. Let us have our fun, all right? But I'm just playing with y'all. Y'all let me know how you feel down below in the comments about any of these topics you want to talk about. Let's chop it up down there, man. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.